Alright, so I haven't seen any videos of anybody dropping this rear differential or the axles. This differential failed. I don't know why. Car's got about 115K on it. The gears are meshed up inside. They're grinding and skipping, and it just sounds terrible. The whole car's popping when it's driving. Oops, looking out the vent. Um, yep, uh, that's gone. So when you look it up on all data, it tells you gotta drop a bunch of crap. You gotta drop the upper control arm, the lower control arm, pull the brakes off, pull the caliper off, pull the ABS sensors out. Pretty much the entire spindle almost has to come out. But there is tension on this coil spring, which I did not really want to touch along with the alignment arms because there is an adjustment, eccentric bolts on the lower arms. I'm sure the uppers have something too. And I figured maybe I can drop it low enough as an assembly to get the axles out, and it works. So what you do, disconnect the drive shaft, just 4 nuts, 4 bolts. Bolts come in this way, and there's 4 nuts, 14 mils on both ends of that. You can just leave it hanging off the support. It won't do anything really. Drop the exhaust support here, the one here, 2 on the muffler, right there. Lower it about, I don't know, almost a foot between this heat shield and the muffler. I guess maybe a little under a foot, 9 inches maybe. Lower that. Pull these links out. They're under a little bit of tension at first, so be careful with that. Pull these out. The arms might drop a hair, which is no big deal. You can just jack it up again if you have to. Once the links are out of the way and the exhaust is dropped, you can kind of lower the differential a little bit this way. It's going to be held up on the stud right here, 18 millimeter stud here. Then you got 2 long 18 millimeter bolts here and here. And just try to line this up so you can understand. So that's how that sits. Okay, before you pull all this, obviously unplug this. I think this is the controller here, the controller plug. Unplug this, take it off the bracket. There's 2 18 bolts here and here. While this whole thing is kind of halfway down, it's kind of a pain in the butt. You loosen the bracket. I think next time if I was to do this, I would leave the bracket on these long 18s. Just try to go for these first. That might make it a little easier because you should still be able to drop it out of these little lips here. So lower that. Once you do that, you unplug 2 vents. One right here up top on the passenger side, and one up top in the back on the passenger side too. Once you get those out, you kind of, what I did is I had the diff here. You slide it off the stud. You're going to tip it down all the way if you want. If you have the room, you don't necessarily have to do that. And then it goes down low enough to where you could pop one axle at a time out of the joint. It's just a quick connect. Just get a screwdriver and pop it. Careful not to damage the seal if you're reusing the diff. But the seals are available for like 11 bucks genuine. Pop one side out, swing over, and get the other axle out. And that's literally all you need to do. You don't have to touch any of the suspension here. Obviously, just be safe while working on it. It might be a lot harder when you're on the ground. But if you can get the car jacked up as high as possible, that would make life much easier. Or if you have a lift. So hopefully this is helpful to somebody. This is what the links look like. Got 18 mil bolts and nuts holding them in. The 2 super long bolts I was talking about are these right here. These are it. They are tapered towards the middle. You keep the washer in place and just punch the bolt out. It'll clear the fuel tank. It's just a heat shield might rub a little bit. As I can see, there's enough room behind the heat shield, so don't worry, you won't really damage anything. You can see right here where it rubbed a little bit, and right here. It's no big deal. Like I said, there's plenty of clearance there. You will not damage the tank. But like I said, if you guys rather try leaving that bracket on with the 2 long 18s, drop the 2 middle ones. That might make life a little easier. But like I said, it's my first time doing it. I didn't really want to touch these control arm boards as they look like crap. So, yeah, hopefully it's helpful to somebody.